dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Welcome to Dreaming Healing. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. I'm also known as the Queen of Dreams, Kat, the Queen of Dreams. So if you want to go to my website to find out more about me, I've been on the Dr. Oz show, I've been on the Doctor show, and I just finished taping History Channel's The UnXplained with William Shatner, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight. You can go to my website, just search Kat, the Queen of Dreams, and it'll take you right to my website, or you can use my name, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, and that's Kathleen with a K, Kathleen Okeefekanava, V as in Victor, OS as in Sam. So last Tuesday's show that I did was about the red vermilion fire horse for Chinese New Year's 2026. And we talked about dreams of horses, and we talked about the colors and the numbers and the changes that are going to take place with this new Chinese New Year. There's going to be a lot happening. So this show, I'm going to be strictly talking about dreams. And what I'm going to talk to you about is what the TV show, The UnXplained, asked me about dreams and why they asked it. So tonight's show title is The UnXplained Nightmares and Dreams from the History Channel. And it's season 8, episode 2. And the name of it is Nightmares and Dreams. So are nightmares and dreams just random firing from a sleeping brain? Or are they more? I was interviewed on the History Channel, The UnXplained Nightmares and Dreams, Season 8, Episode 2, to talk about my life-saving nightmares. Yeah, that saved my life, making it a dream come true. And for those of you who already know me, you know that those dreams, those nightmares were saving me from breast cancer. I had recurrence twice, like once wasn't enough. Yeah, recurrence twice. And so my nightmares, and they were nightmares, they scared me. They scared me into action, which is what a nightmare will do. It's a gift in disguise. They scared me into action, and I'm here to not only tell you about it, but I went on to the History Channel's UnXplained and told their audience about it. But before we get into that, let's do our protection and clearing meditation, okay? So remember, we do this to keep us in a safe place because we're dealing with dreams. We're dealing with another dimension. We're dealing with the psyche. And I want to make sure that we're always safe. We have our spirit guides and guardian angels with us when we're doing this show. And remember, even if your parents told you happened in the back seat of that old Ford, you happened on purpose. We're all here with a life purpose. We're all here for a reason. None of us just happened. And when we were born with spirit guides and guardian angels wear their job, and they take that job very seriously. So anytime you feel frightened or need guidance, just say under your breath or just in your mind, spirit guides, guardian angels, help me. They will. Sometimes they'll give you dreams. Sometimes you'll hear a voice. Sometimes that solution just shows up. So we're going to do our protection and clearing meditation now. So what I want you to do is just follow my voice. Don't worry if you've never done it before. If you are driving in your car right now, listening to me on the radio, on Alexa or on Alexis, or using your laptop, any device, your phone, whatever you're using to listen, and you'd like to watch this show again later, first of all, don't close your eyes when we're doing the meditation. And second of all, you can watch this show on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network from my website. So you don't have to hunt for it. Just go to my website, Kat, the Queen of Dreams, or Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. You might still find it if you do Cat Kanavos. And my website will come up. You'll see some black buttons across the top. Just click the one that says the radio show. It will take you to my page on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. And you just go down and click on today's show, which again, the Unexplained Nightmares and Dreams, and you can watch the show. How cool is that, right? Okay, so I want you to get comfortable in your chair, and I want you to just relax your body, feel yourself sinking deeper into that chair, just deeper and deeper. Your shoulders are relaxing. Your fingers are relaxing. From your nose to your toes, your muscles are just going deeper into that chair. Your back is popping because all your vertebrae are relaxing. And now I want you to take a deep breath in. Hold it. I want you to imagine any negativity that happened to you during the week, getting caught up in that breath of life, and blow it out all the way across the room, out, all the way down. Empty your lungs. Watch it go into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's converted into beautiful golden light and returned to the universe. It goes past the moon, past the stars and planets, all the way up to those pearly gates where your spirit guides and guardian angels reside, makes a U-turn and comes down at the speed of thought right into your seventh chakra and fills your whole body with warm, tingly, golden light from your nose down to your toes. Feel yourself just vibrating and tingling. Feels so good. Again, deep breath in. Hold it. Any negativity you may have done to someone or something, caught in that breath of life, blow it out. Cross the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Watch it going back up to those pearly gates, making a U-turn, and at the speed of thought, entering your seventh chakra, your divine violet chakra, filling your whole body from your nose to your toes with healing golden light. It goes to that parts of your body that need it the most. One more time. Healing golden breath in. Hold it. Imagine any negativity that you've been carrying with you from your childhood, caught in that golden light. Blow it out. Goes into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Any of that negativity in that golden light is just burned right up. Goes up to those gates, makes a U-turn, and the speed of thought enters your seventh chakra, fills your whole body with cleansing golden light. Now you're all clean on the inside. Just feel that tingle. Now I want you to imagine holding a power gift in your hand. And a power gift can be anything that holds power for you. It can be love power. It can be a piece of jewelry that was given to you that means so much to you. It can be your favorite rock, your favorite flower, anything that holds the power of love, the strongest power in the universe. I want you to imagine holding that and swinging it all around your body to create a bubble, a mirrored bubble. You're sitting inside that mirrored bubble of protection and light. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. In the meantime, you can just listen to me. Just listen to my voice. Open your eyes when you're ready, or keep them closed the whole time. Up to you. So, what are dreams? They are so many things. Dreams are spiritual guidance. Sometimes, when we were a child, we might have been in a difficult situation. And we solved that problem. We made it through that challenge. And it was on a child's level. Now that we're adults, sometimes we can get a dream that is a warning dream. It can come as a nightmare. And it can be warning you that what you experienced as that child is about to happen again, but on a bigger level. And it may show you portions of your life when you were the child going through this, and then show you buildings, places, times, almost precognitive dreams, showing you a bit of the future, so that when you reach that point, it triggers you in your waking world and says, boom, it's here. That's where you call on your spirit guides and guardian angels, even during the day. They're there with you during the day too, to help you make it through that difficult time, whether it's a relationship, you're going to run into a type of person that was emotionally or physically abusive when you were a child. You're going to run into that same type of person again now, and you're being warned, because remember, our spirit guides and our guardian angels live through those sacred dream doors in the room between realms, where there is no past and there is no future. There's only the big now. So they know what happened in the past. You kind of do too. But they also know what's going to happen in the future, because they ride that time continuum continuously. And so they may be warning you so that you stay on the correct path of your life purpose. Remember, we're all here for a reason. We have a life purpose, and many of our life purposes are different. My life purpose, after surviving cancer 3 times using dreams and nightmares, is to share that with as many people as I can through my books, through my radio shows, through magazines I write articles in, like Desert Health. That's my life purpose. And my spirit guides and guardian angels help me stay on that path. They let me play. I'm not always doing that, but it's always in the back of my mind, and I always come back to it. So you have a life purpose, and because your life purpose comes from a higher power. Great light attracts moths. That's what I call them. I call them moths for great darkness. And so Your spirit guides and guardian angels, their main purpose is to keep you safe, keep you on the correct path, and keep you aware of where you are, where you need to be, and of things that could knock you off your path. And that's where the dreams come in. So that spiritual guidance, that sacred doorway to divine intervention, which it is, it can save your life during times of strife and danger and precognitive warnings of health. They're very important to you, and that's where your dreams come in. So what I did was, I used my dreams, but when I was going through my breast cancer, the recurrence was a 9 by 11 centimeter area. It was huge. I mean, I remember thinking to myself, I don't know anybody who survives this. I don't. I'm going to die. And I remember the power of surrender is what I would call it, where I said, okay, God, I don't know why you put me through this crap the first time, but if I'm not surviving it the second time, you can explain it to me when I get up there to heaven, because I have some big bones to pick with you. I want to know why I got this, because I've never done anything to deserve this crap. And I remember my spirit guides came into my dreams at that time and said, don't you remember, Kat? And I said, remember what? In my dream. I dreamt that I woke up and they were standing over my bed. I was still dreaming. It's called a waking dream. They said, we told you before you were born that we were going to be with you every step of the way through this illness, because you wanted to come down onto the earth plane during a time when spirituality, higher power, spirit guides, guardian angels, sacred dream doors were being pushed into the closet doors and shut. You didn't talk about them. They weren't real because you couldn't feel them, touch them, measure them. They weren't scientific. They were voodoo. We told you we'd be with you every step of the way, and we have been. And I looked at those spirit guides in my dreams and I said, what was I smoking up there at that time? That's insane. Why would I do that? And they just laughed. It was the only time I've ever seen them laugh. And they turned around and they walked out of the dream. And they have been with me every step of the way. So I realized then that that was my life purpose. And I began writing my books. I began writing Surviving Cancerland, The Intuitive Aspects of Healing, which won 4 big awards. They're on my website. And Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Illnesses, using dreams to warn you of something that is going to happen in the future so that you can start making preparations, catch it early, and survive and fulfill your life purpose. So apparently the producers from the History Channel's show, The UnXplained, which I never really watched, contacted me through my literary agent, which is on my website. And my agent sent me an email and called me on the phone and said, wow, we've got some big producers who want to talk to you about your books and about your dreams. So I set up a Zoom with them and we talked for a while, and they asked me some generalized questions, and then they offered to fly me out to LA, put me up in a hotel, and pay me to be on their show, and had a driver for me drive me to and from the show, The UnXplained. So I've had people ask me over and over again, what kinds of questions did they ask you on when they were taping you? Where did they tape you? Did you see William Shatner? What did it look like in there? Questions after questions. So I decided this show, I was going to answer all those questions. They're all written down here. They're all the questions that the producers sent me, that they asked me on the show. And I'm going to share them with you in case that ever happens to you. So also the moral of this story is this: your dreams can be very important in helping you share your life purpose, keep you on that path. I said that already. But by keeping a dream journal, you know what you need to do. You know where you were, you know where you're going, and you know how to keep going. And I took that dream journal and I turned it into my first book. I did the whole journal. I just turned it into my book. It was a memoir on surviving a deadly disease. How do you do it? How do you use modern medicine and spirituality in the dream world? I combined the two for a healing that was greater than the sum of its individual parts. You can do that. You don't have to just pick one or the other. Never did my spirit guide say to me in my dreams, hey, you go find Swami Wami Rama Lama Ding Dong. Blow off your doctors. They never said that. Every single time they said, you go back to your doctors tomorrow without an appointment. And you tell them you need exploratory surgery. And you don't take no for an answer. And when they would not listen to me, when they would not help me, the doctors, when they thought that I was a cuckoo, they really did. Yeah, they did. My spirit guide handed me a white feather and said, you use this feather to cut through all their arguments. And if you do that, if you imagine that feather in your mind, you take this in with you to your next appointment and you point it at that doctor, you're going to get the appointment you need for exploratory surgery. And that's exactly what happened. I know. I told that to the producers and I thought, well, that's it. They're going to say this one's certifiable. We don't want her on the TV show. But instead, they said, okay, we need you to come on, because I had the medical records that validated the fact that they had said, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have breast cancer. You are the picture of perfect health. And then because I threw a temper tantrum, refused to leave. Imagine that feather. They did it. They came up with a reason. It was like somebody glamored them. Those guides were in that room working with me. They found that I was in stage 2, very aggressive breast cancer with it in my lymph nodes. And I know the producers asked the same question. How is that possible? I don't know. But obviously, it's part of my life purpose. It's part of me sharing that crazy story with you, showing that yes, we're human beings, but we're spirits in body. And we are in the earth, but we are not of the earth. And we came down here to do a job. And we forgot what it was like over there. And we had to. Because if we had not forgotten, we would all be jumping off of bridges to get back. We had to go through that veil of forgetfulness, that veil between life and death. When we come back, we're going to talk about some more of the questions that the producers asked me and put on TV. Don't go away. You're listening to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing Shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through mayhem to miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
Did you know that every word you speak matters? What you say and how you say it can make or break a relationship or shift the outcome of any situation. Are your conversations making a difference? Faith in God, gratitude, authenticity, and giving are Teresa Velarde's heart. It's in this spirit that she's focused on making a difference in the lives she's blessed to touch. Conversations That Make a Difference is now on syndicated Dreamvision 7 Radio Network every Tuesday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with live call-in shows every first and third Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, aka Kat, the Queen of Dreams. And welcome back to the second half of this show. If you missed the first half, you can always go to my website and click on the radio network, Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. It'll take you right to my website on Dreamvision 7, Dreaming Healing. And you can look through the archives. It'll be, one of the last ones. The title of this one is The Unexplained, Nightmares and Dreams. Just look that up and boom, you'll be able to watch the first part. So we were talking about spirit guides, guardian angels coming in our dreams, why they would do that, why it's important that we connect with them through our dreams, because it's the most normal place to connect with them. Because if you think about it, our dreams are like that world between worlds. We're not dead, but it's a space where, hey, the dead, our deceased loved ones, our deceased pets can come and commune with us. They can speak to us. Our cat can rub up against us. Sometimes they do talk to you, which is cool, because in the dream, you don't find that surprising, because that's part of that spiritual realm. And that area is between heaven and earth. And there's no time or space in there. It's all just now. And so when I said yes, I would love to be a guest on the History Channel's The Unexplained with William Shatner, I got to LA, and they put us in the cutest little hotel in Koreatown. Well, my husband loves Korean food, and of course, I had to bring my husband with me. I always have to bring him everywhere I go. He's my Rock of Gibraltar. And he was so happy. And we were in a little boutique hotel. It had great views of the Hollywood Hills, and it was wonderful. We had a wonderful time. And the next morning, the the studio, sent an Uber to pick us up and take us to what I thought was going to be the studio. Well, guess what? They don't film their show in studios. They rent huge houses and mansions in LA. The Uber brought us up to this beautiful, ginormous house. And I looked at it and I said, we're supposed to go to the studio. Have you brought us to the right place? And he goes, this is the address, this is the address he gave me, and this is where you're going to be. I said, don't leave. Okay. Don't leave. I said, honey, get out and go see if we're in the right place. Don't leave with me in the car and him there. And so Peter gets out and he walks up, and some of the producers came down and met us, and he motioned for me to get out. And so I said, okay, well then I think it's safe. I'll get out. Thank you very much. And it was a beautiful old LA, like 1950s, 1960s house with the wood paneling and the big, gorgeous library. That's where I was. I was in the library. And beautiful old paintings on the walls, spiral staircase going up to the second floor. And they brought me into this beautiful bedroom. And that's where the makeup artist was waiting for me. And she did a great job. She did a great job on my makeup. And let me tell you something. I don't wear much makeup. I've had people tell me in some of the comments, you should wear brighter colors on your radio show. Like you should wear red lipstick and black eyeliner. And I'm like, that's not me. I don't wear that much makeup. And it doesn't look like me. It doesn't feel like me. And it makes my face itch. So I'm thinking, oh no, they're gonna make me look like a clown for this show, and there's nothing I can do about it because they're paying me. So if they want me to look like a clown, I gotta look like a clown. And they had told me to bring 3 outfits that they can choose from for me to wear. So I thought, okay, well, I will take my Chanel jacket, which looks really chic, and a white blouse under it, black pants, and I will take, I can't remember what the other one was. I think it was an off green dress with long sleeves, solid color. And I took a pink, like Barbie doll pink. Yeah, Barbie doll pink linen 3-piece pantsuit. And I held them up, and they all went, the pink. The pink Barbie doll suit. Okay. So I changed into my pink linen Barbie doll suit, which I love. It's one of my favorite suits. I love to wear pink. I love to wear colors, probably because I don't wear them on my face. I like to wear them on my body. And the makeup artist looked at me, and she, just kind of nodded. And she did a beautiful job. She did a beautiful job. She did not give me bright red lips or tons of black eyeliner. I looked like me, just better. And that's a good makeup artist. And then she worked with my hair. My hair was like, those of you who have seen me over the years, I have that Swedish hair. My hair is just so baby fine. And to try and tease it, spray it, get it big, I'm lucky if it lasts 5 minutes. And then it just, I don't know, it just shakes off the hairspray and it just goes flat. So she got my hair just looking beautiful. And they kept me there through lunch. They ordered in lunch. We went into the garage, the air-conditioned garage that was like a big party room. It was beautiful. And we sat at the table. We all had lunch together. So in a way, we kind of bonded. They got to know me a little bit better and knew some additional questions that they wanted to ask me. They kind of went off their scripted questions and asked some other ones. And my hair and my makeup lasted for 4 hours of filming. 4 hours of filming. So when I have to do my radio show and I have to pre-record for 2 or 3 hours, and I thought that was like, who does this? Yeah, those those TV shows, they film for hours and hours and hours. Now, when I did the Dr. Oz show, it was only that hour. It was only an hour long. And I remember what was interesting was it was in the studio. It was in the studio, and he had different sets on the studio, in the studio, different sets, and some of them were at different heights. It was really interesting. And so once I came out at the beginning of the show, he's so lovely. I got to tell you, Dr. Oz was so sweet, and he made me feel so comfortable. So that was the first time I'd been on TV like that. And I was a little anxious because there is a live audience, and that inner fearful child in me was going, what if they start throwing food at you? Shut up, we're not going to go there. But the audience was great, but he would take me by the hand and take me to the next set, and take me by the hand and take me to the next set. With the UnXplained, it was not a studio. We were in this huge mansion or house, and very homey. And we would just take breaks from the 4 hours, like maybe 5 minutes. They would come in, they would reset my makeup, reset my hair, and then we would go again. So here are some of the questions that they asked me. One of them was, what did you think when the doctors discovered cancer just as your dream showed? So obviously they had read both my books. They read everything, so they knew what I had gone through. And I thought that was a very good question, because everything else, like, tell me what happened after the first dream, how did you feel when you woke up from the dream, all of that stuff, that's in the book, but not necessarily what did I think and what happened when I woke up from that first surgery, that exploratory surgery. Yeah, they did it. Well, what happened was, before I even woke up after the surgery, I woke up under anesthesia. Yeah, I really did. I was that anxious. I was that upset. And because I don't weigh that much, I'm not a big person. I'm like only 5'5", 123 pounds. I'm a little person by comparison. They don't give me a lot of anesthesia. They just bring me down, just on that edge. So my anxiety level was already so through the roof, because the doctors had been telling me over and over and over again I didn't have any cancer, that my mammogram, my blood test, my physical exams, they couldn't feel anything, they couldn't see anything. I was healthy. So as I'm going into this surgery, I'm thinking to myself, what if I really am crazy? What if there's nothing there? What if I just convince them to cut my boob open and, rummage around in there to see if there is anything? What if I am nuts? No, I'm thinking that as I'm going in. My stomach is gurgling as I'm going in for anesthesia. My whole body has had it, because I'm sure there's got to be something wrong with my breast, or there is definitely something wrong in my head. And now we're going to find out which one it is. Is it the boob, or is it the brain? So when you're in anesthesia, most people don't remember being in anesthesia. The only reason I remember is because I dragged myself out. And I dragged myself out when I heard my doctor say, we got it all, let's close her up. And it was like trying to climb up the inside of a slimy water well. And you just keep kind of sliding down, but I just kept clawing my way up in my dream. And I remember popping my head over this slimy well, holding on to it. And I said, what was it? Except I really said that. It wasn't just in my dream. I really said it. to the room. And I remember seeing nothing but eyeballs looking over white masks at me and then at each other. And this head comes up over the top of me and cuts out the light. The light was so bright. Cuts out the light. And a voice says, "Did she just talk?" And my doctor looks down at me and says, "Kathy, it's what we thought it was. It's just a fibrostic tumor. You're okay." And he turned to the anesthesiologist and said, "Give her more." And suddenly, nothing held me. I just slid right down that slimy, black, stinky well into nothingness again. And it was hours before I finally woke up. And when I woke up, I remembered. It was nothing. It was just a fibrostic tumor. There was something there, but I don't have cancer. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. And looking around, and my doctor walks in the room, and I'm all happy. I'm smiling, and he walks over, pulls the curtain behind him, and the first alarm bell goes off. Then he sits down and he takes my hand, and the next alarm bell goes off. Now they're just dinging like fire alarms. And he goes, "Pathology didn't like what they saw when they cut that tumor open." And I said, "Is it breast cancer?" And he said, "Yes. Now I'm going to have to refer you to a specialist," something I had asked for before surgery. When he said, "Yes, we'll do the surgery," I said, "Shouldn't we have an oncologist there?" And he said, "You're too young for cancer. Doesn't run in your family. You don't have cancer. You don't need an oncologist. I'm going to do the surgery." So now he has to refer me to an oncologist who has to open me up again to make sure we have clear margins and check my lymph nodes. So what did I think when those doctors discovered the cancer? My first reaction was, thank God I have those spirit guides in my dreams. That's exactly what I told those producers. I said, without those spirit guides hounding me to have that surgery, hounding me to not take no for an answer, I would not have found this aggressive stage 2 breast cancer. And by the time I did find it or feel it, it would be too late and I would be dead. And so the producers just kind of stopped when they were filming me and they went, "We need to take a break," because they suddenly realized how important those nightmares are. We all have them. We all have them. But unfortunately, not all of us believe them or will stake their lives on them like I did. And that's why they wanted to interview me. It's time to take a really quick break. When I come back, we're going to talk about some more of the questions, the deep questions that they asked me, and whether or not I got to meet William Shatner. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Berg. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to happy. Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide. Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity: Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. I am your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, aka Kat, the Queen of Dreams, and we're talking about nothing but dreams tonight. The dreams that I had that the producers of the History Channel's show, The UnXplained with William Shatner, used when they interviewed me, the questions that they asked from the books I had written that they found online and Amazon, and because they had won so many awards. And I'm sharing that with you tonight because it's part of my life purpose. It's part of the reason I'm still alive and didn't die from cancer, to show you how important your spirit guides, guardian angels in your dreams are. They're very, very, they can save your life. And if there is a choice between just believing science and medicine or just believing spirit guides, guardian angels, I say, why settle for one? Use them both. Don't choose. Use them both. And that's exactly what I did. And they worked well together, even though the doctors didn't know they were working with them. I never told them, but my spirit guides knew. They probably knew when they saw that UnXplained show, which was episode 8. Season 8, episode 2, Dreams, Nightmares and Dreams. Wow, I really got that messed up. Season 8, episode 2, Nightmares and Dreams. And so they asked me, many researchers call this type of experience a precognitive dream, a dream that warns of a medical condition, and they call it also prodromal dream, and that's PRODROMAL. It's in the book Dreams That Can Save Your Life that I wrote with Dr. Larry Burke, who was chief of radiology at Duke University at the time. He had just stepped down at the time we wrote the book, or maybe not, but he was getting patients coming in for their radiation therapy, breast cancer, women. And the paperwork that he gave them, one of the questions on it was, how was your cancer found? Was it found in an MRI, mammogram? Did you feel it? Did the doctor feel it? Did somebody else feel it? How was it found? And he had 19 women who said their dreams told them they had breast cancer. Yeah, 19 of them. And so he went to the board of Duke University Medical and said, if I can get another to make 20 women who had dreams that diagnosed their breast cancer, and then they went to the doctor to get additional testing or testing period, will you fund the research for it? And they said, yeah. And so he took all of our information and he wrote he wrote papers that were published in the medical field and in the medical journals and in medical magazines and all over the place about dreams that diagnosed breast cancer. Well, when he was all done with that, he said, well, that was great. Thank you very much. And I said, so now what? And he said, well, I don't know. What do you have in mind? And I said, we have to take all this information, but we have to put it in a book. And we have to bring other cancers in that were diagnosed in dreams and put them in the book. And he said, I'm not into writing, self-publishing books. He said, it doesn't work. So if you can get an agent and get a conventional publisher to publish the book, I'm all in. I said, I've already got the agent. We're already halfway there. I'll write the book proposal because I know how to do that. And long story short, we went into a bidding war. Yeah, we went into a bidding war. And boom, we've got Dreams That Can Save Your Life, which is the book that they showed on the UnXplained. So they wanted to know, do you think your dreams fall into that category? Well, yeah, I do. And these are the same type of dreams that the ancient Greeks used to try to have when they would go to the Asclepian dream temples in Delphi and other places in Greece, where the priests would dream in tandem with the dreamer so that they could see what it was they were dreaming. It had to be pretty amazing. And people say, well, you can't really do that. Well, we shouldn't really be able to dream of our breast cancer. We shouldn't really be able to dream of monks showing up in our dream, showing us exactly where it is, taking our hand and putting it on our breast and saying, do you feel that? That's breast cancer, when the doctors can't. But they did. So what's to say what's real and what's not? A lot of it's just unexplained. Did you get that? Okay, so do I think that those dreams fall into that? Yes, it's the same category as the dreams in the Asclepian dream temples that helped people discover their illness and what they needed to do to survive it. So, where did my train of thought go with that? Oh, so did I think it was? Yes, I absolutely do believe it was that category. So that just goes to prove. So here's where I want to go with this. That is proof. They're saying all the time, well, you can't prove dreams do this or do that. That is the proof. You can measure that. The dream said that cancer is right here. Taking my hand, putting it on the spot and saying it's right here. You can measure that. You can take, after cutting it open, seeing exactly where it is, where I pointed to it, pulling it out and finding that it's cancer. So what made these dreams, all of these dreams, not just my dream, but the hundreds of dreams in this book, between the two books, what it proves is that the dreams came first. Yeah, the dreams came first, and then they were validated by medical, scientific modems, whether it was MRIs, whether it was sending a piece of the breast or the cancerous tissue, or questionable cancerous tissue off to be tested, using blood tests, using measurements, scientific measurements to prove the dreams were true. And they couldn't dispute it. It's the first time that's ever happened. That's the first book. It was groundbreaking information. That's another reason why the Unexplained wanted me on their show. So they wanted to know, they asked me, what prompted me to trust the monk figures? Why didn't I think that the dreams and these monks were just mental noise that I should just ignore? Because a lot of people, they said, you know what, if I had had monks in my dreams telling me I was sick, I would have ignored them. I don't want to hear that. And I remember thinking to myself, and you might be dead. I'd be dead. I would be dead. Because the second time that cancer was 9 by 11 centimeters, recurrence. You don't survive that. At least you didn't back then, and I didn't know anyone who had. So I was sure I was going to die, but I didn't. I didn't. And again, the doctors were saying there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Until I beat them down and finally said, look, I want an MRI. I want it today. I want it now. And I'm not leaving your waiting room until I get it. In fact, with all these people watching, I'm going to lie down here on your floor, kick my feet like a 3-year-old who had their candy taken away, and you're going to have to call security to drag me out by my feet out the front door, and I am going to be on my cell phone to Channel 3 News. Guess what? I got the MRI. Guess what? It was a 9 by 11 centimeter tumor. Guess what else? They were running for the hills with my records. The dreams saved my life. Even though I was under treatment with the doctors in a facility, and I'm not saying boo-boo doctors. No, I'm not. I'm saying there's more to life than what you can physically measure. And dreams are one of them. And you can take that information, and if you know that dream to be true, you can use the scientific measurements to prove it. That's all I'm saying. You need medicine. Without my dreams, I would have been dead. Believe it or not, without my chemotherapy, radiation therapy, I'd have been dead too. Without my surgeries, I'd have been dead. It takes the earth plane and the spiritual plane working together on your behalf to make sure that you're healthy. God gave us dreams before he gave us doctors. The two of them need to work together. And I know that's hard on doctors because many of them don't believe in anything they can't measure. But these dreams just showed them it does exist. It's there. And you can measure it if you'll trust your patient enough to do it. So the takeaway for the doctors is listen to your patients. The takeaway for the patients is believe in your dreams enough to stand in your power, speak your truth, and not take no for an answer. And the lesson to the dreams is don't ever stop. This world needs you. We need you. You're part of our half. Id, ego, superego. Dreams, you, the medical universe. They're all part of us. And we all have to work together. We have to work together. Our doctors are just as important as our spirit guides and guardian angels. So they're kind of like our earthbound spirit guides and guardian angels. They're very important. And we have to all work together. And that's what I said on the Unexplained. I wanted to make sure that they understood I was not poo-pooing doctors. I needed those doctors. I needed them very badly, or I would never have fought to have them do the tests they did to get them on my side. And they really did question my sanity, but that's okay because I was starting to question my sanity until their scientific tests proved I wasn't crazy. I wasn't crazy. I was just desperate to live, and I needed them to help me. So I want to leave you with this thought. Everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. You've probably heard me say that over and over at the end of my show. Today, it's really special when I say that. Your dreams can save your life. They can get you out of trouble. They can protect you. They can let you know what's coming. You have spirit guides and guardian angels, and I invite you, meet yours tonight. That brings us to the end of our show. I know it went so quickly. It always does. And I did not get to meet William Shatner because he's the only one in the studio. He's in the studio when you see him. The rest of us, oh, we're in the mansions. He probably wishes he was with us. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us this evening. And a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.